Hey, Jack from Alphacharts with a stocks to watch video. Today is February 9th, 2025. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not done so yet. It really does help me out. Gets my video in front of people, and the more eyes, the better it is. So thank you so much for doing that. All right, so the SPY has a cup and handle look to it, right? But lots of distribution showing up as it's making this cup and handle. And really, I really look at the right side of the base more importantly. And again, I'm seeing distribution there. So I am skeptical. Also, lower highs and lower lows, which is fine if it can kind of make a higher high soon, but we're not seeing yet. So I am personally cautious of this market until we can see either some more accumulation show up here and some of these days kind of drop off, or we see a higher high. That's being said, I have 10 names that may look good. Everyone trades their own accounts, so let's go into these names. First one is AFRM, a firm, big 21% move higher on Friday off of earnings. Beautiful. I'm gonna throw a VWAP on there too. So where can you trade this? I think the VWAP hopefully can hold, which is right in this general breakout area. So we'll call it, if it gets above, moves higher here, the high is what, 76.88. So above that area, and then I'd want at the very least VWAP to hold. So again, maybe slightly elevated risk, but that is, again, it's a high flying, fast moving type of stock. What we don't want to see is this come back in and fall below this purple line right over here. Now, another option would be if we get an inside day, inside and up would be a way that you could play the Affirm chart. Hood's been one of the strongest stocks in the market. I'm in this one from a lower level, and it's really trending beautifully. So, I think if it could come back and tag the 9 day, I think we could play it versus the versus the 23. Buy near the nine, and then your stop goes to the 23. It gives you a reasonable reward to risk. And it's trending higher. Again, we don't see that distribution really in this chart at all, where we saw it on the indexes. So this is again one of the strongest names out there, I think. IREN. Let's go to the weekly chart just to get a kind of feel for this one. So you see this big base as it's trying to go higher. And again, love the higher lows, kind of VCP-esque, right? As it's trying to kind of get here, bounce one, bounce twice. Maybe gets back up here to this $15, and then we'll see what happens. Going to the daily, you know, really like it. You play against the 50-day, I think, right? So if you buy the breakout here, the move higher, I should say, above let's call it like 1263, right above 1263 you could buy it, and then really want to see $12 hold, and you go all the way down to maybe 1175-ish or so. But that would be how I would consider playing this one. Again, maybe a little bit more of a volatile name, but overall I think you at least got to move up to 15-ish, and then who knows, maybe even higher. That's IREN. Next up is UPST, Upstart. um so this one, you know, had a nice move here, did give some of it back, right? So it's right now kind of below the 50. So I would love to see an inside and up on this one, right? Inside day means inside this big bar. That's a very high volatile, high ranging bar. So inside day, so maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then we would see the up move and take out the VWAP from here and this high, and that's where I'd want to get involved. So that's how I would consider playing this if I was interested in this name. Again, this is just for idea generation. Everyone trades their own accounts and what they like, right? Reddit, another really strong name, right? Very similar to the Robinhood look. It had this nice tight consolidation, and then it broke out. Yeah, what would I look for? Pull back to the 9 day, and then I'd use the 23 day as my stop, right? So you could buy near 210-ish, And 23 day probably closer to 194, and that would be where I would want to put my stop. It's roughly 8%. So again, know what you're buying, know where you're buying. If that's too much for you, you figure out a better stop, right? Maybe you do a vertical level, maybe this little gap right there, right? 206. You again, whatever you think is good for you. That's kind of, I just try to give you guys ideas. Everyone makes the trade their own. If you haven't done so yet, check me out on X at Alphacharts 365. I'm posting stuff there all the time, and I also run a subscriber group. It's $10 a month. It's really the best value. It's 33 cents a day. Best value for the money. I give so much information out there. Everyone takes what they want, whether it's written market notes twice a week, whether it's the focus list video that some people just do it just for that. We do the pick of the week, which is a shorter term. We do again extended watch list. I have 50 names on there. Really, the really things that are holding up well for idea generation. We do live streams. Again, this is only $10 a month. So check it out at Alphacharts 365. Also, if you're a YouTube only watcher, the join button gives you all of the videos as well as the live streams, right? So tons of information there if you're YouTube only. Just click that join button, same price. Again, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It's month to month. There are no contracts. All right, so going on, we have IoT. This is one that's been hard to trade for me personally, but when you look at the weekly chart, I mean, this is, again, I've tried to trade it in the past, and again, it's getting a little choppy, but really, the weekly chart could be how this is better traded, right? So as it's kind of moving higher, it's really right near all-time highs and looks really, really good. You see the daily chart makes it again a little bit harder to trade, but if it can break out above this high, I think we could be long the name. Maybe it needs to build out a cup and little handle here. That would be absolutely fine too. But overall, this really strong looking name at IoT. Four, shift for payments. Again, you have to go to the weekly chart to really get a feel for this one, and you see the up, you see this big base, the first real base, and now it's broken out. I love the comeback, the retest, the hold, and the move higher. So again, looks really good. It closed at all-time highs. That's a beautiful thing. Again, if it comes into the 9 day, you can then use the 23-day as your stop, and that's a really nice reward to risk type of situation. That's shift for payments, FOUR. Next up is CLBT. Again, beautiful trend. We talked about it with subscribers. Whenever you see these notes in here, that's when I talked about with subscribers. Again, we brought it off the breakout. Some might still be in it. Some already took profits. But where could we get back in? I mean, again, I think for this one, it tends to come back to the 23-day, right? So you have to look for the tendency of the stock itself. So I think if we get a pullback to the 23-day, you can buy there and put a stop just right below that 23-day, and that'd be a very small risk, great reward type of situation. This is a information security type of name, right? So I think that's really a hot area right now in the market. So that's why CLBT looks really good, adds a little bit more to conviction. Also, look at this, right? We talked about how much distribution was looking on SPY, and we don't see any of that on this particular name. SEMR is next. Again, another software name. Let's go to the weekly chart just to give you, again, a feel of this one. And this one, I just pull this right across. You see how it had this beautiful base. It broke out, I mean, strong 36% move. And really, every week, it's been up since, right? That tells you how strong this particular name is. We have this little consolidation here. Would like to see this consolidate just a little bit more. Maybe test the 9 day one more time, get the 23-day, get up in that area, and then I'd like to see this. So again, a pullback, maybe 1750 or so, and then we could use the 23 days our stop and be reasonable with our risk on that one. And the last one I have for you is Flywire, FLYW. Again, let's go to the weekly chart. And you see it's kind of got this base. Let me just draw this in here. This kind of right there. So it kind of came down here, touched, 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 and now it made a higher low. So if you look very subtly, you have a low, you have a higher low, Now you have another higher low. Okay, so now it's a change of character. Coming into here, it came back down again. That's that higher low we were just talking about, right? There's your low, there's your higher low, that's your higher low, and you see how it's kind of consolidating. So I'd want to see this really break out from, sorry, kind of this type of consolidation right there, right? So it's got to break out one direction or the other, and I think we could play it in that direction. Again, managing risk along the way, but I do like how the 200-day is starting to flatten out. And again, if you could break higher from here, that's where we could be involved in this name. And then you could either use the low of this day or the 50-day, whatever you choose, if it breaks out. Okay. Again, so there you go. 10 names. Again, if you like them, great. Make them the trade your own. Again, I'm cautious of the market, so just be real careful. I think that if it starts to fall apart, we want to get out pretty quick. And again, if you haven't done so, check me out on X at Alphacharts 365. All right, y'all have a great day. Take care.